Chapter 056. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Main peak, before the teleportation array, Changge silently broke away from the shadow and appeared behind the sharp-billed monkey disciple. Once a person enters the teleportation array, he will be teleported to the hidden scripture pavilion in an instant, and there is no light in the teleportation array, and the shadow will disappear for an instant, so Changge broke away from the shadow. The sharp-billed monkey-cheeked disciple entered the teleportation array, and the figure disappeared. Instantly, Changge followed closely and disappeared into the teleportation array. Soon, two rays of light flashed at the door of the Tibetan scripture pavilion, and two figures appeared. It's you, little transparent. Why are you here too? The sharp-billed monkey-cheeked disciple swept his eyes sideways, and suddenly saw Changge, and the corners of his mouth showed a touch of disdain. Changge deliberately let him see it. After all, this person had come to the door of the Tibetan scripture pavilion, and if he was allowed to take the creation pill, then he would come for nothing. Gotta find some other way to outweed. Changge looked around and found that the scruffy old man was still lying on the recliner, but he was already asleep, and he was still sucking wine gourds in his mouth. He smiled lightly and said, "Can't I just come?" "Ha ha ha, I can indeed come." The sharp-billed monkey-cheeked disciple named Zhang Zongbao, who was extremely cunning, sneered, "I just don't know, how many floors are you going to this little transparent to?" Changge thought for a moment and said, "Master told me that the higher the floor of the Tibetan scripture pavilion, the better the things inside, so I want to go to the highest level." Saying that, he looked up at the 6th floor of the Tibetan scripture pavilion, his eyes longing. It's like really wanting to go to the top. At the top? Just you? Zhang Zongbao looked at him in disbelief and sneered, "Can you go up?" At the entrance of each floor of the Tibetan scripture pavilion, there are formations. The higher the floor, the more terrifying the formation is, and the more difficult it is to go up. However, fortunately, it is a special period, so the sect master has weakened the formation. Even though it has weakened, Zhang Zongbao still thinks that Changge's small transparency can't go up at all, and it's even difficult to go to the second layer. How could a small transparent who couldn't practice resist that formation? Changge said lightly, "Master told me that the road of cultivation is heavy and long. As long as you have great perseverance, you can finally climb it." In fact, he said all this to pave the way for Zhang Zongbao. When he said this, he felt that the heat was almost the same, and then said, "It's better like this. Let's make a bet. Within a blaze of incense, I will be able to go up to the 6th floor. If you don't believe it, go up and wait for me first. Remember the timing." Zhang Zongbao smiled coldly, "You are simply a fart. Still a blaze of incense? I'll step on the horse to give you 10 incense hours. I'm afraid you won't be able to go up." The corner of Changge's mouth raised a slight arc and said, "You underestimate me too much. If I go up with a blaze of incense, what should you do?" "Ha ha ha, what a little transparent. Okay, I'll go to the 6th floor and wait for you. I'll see if your cowhide can blow through the sky." Zhang Zongbao laughed, immediately entered the Tibetan scripture pavilion, climbed to the 2nd floor, and then soared to the 3rd floor, and it didn't take long to reach the top. Read more novels for free on our website, tinyurl.com/2aa54z8b. When he reached the top floor, he took out a piece of incense and lit it, and began to clock down. When Changge saw him go up, the corners of his mouth moved, and he sneered, "Only a fool will bet with you." He quickly entered the scripture pavilion, went straight to the 2nd floor, and began to look around. After a few moments, I found a stone slab on the lowest level of a bookshelf near the corner. The stone slab is purple-gray, and a lot of dust has fallen on it, which is inconspicuous. Changge took it in his hand, blew off the dust on it in one breath, and then began to check the clues. After a while, he found a bulge on the stone slab, which seemed to be a mechanism. Pressed the bulge. Click, the stone slab automatically separates, revealing the inner mezzanine. Suddenly, a rich danxiang came to the nose, and the taste was like spring nectar, which made people feel refreshed and refreshed. Changge looked down and saw that this object was about the size of a fingernail, round, like a bead. The whole body was emerald green, and there was a pure flow of creation, which was very extraordinary. This is the Millennium Creation Pill. In order to prevent Zhang Zongbao from noticing the clue, Su Changge quickly put the Millennium Creation Pill on his body, and as for the stone slab, it was useless, and he put it back in its original place. Get it all done, he lifted his foot and left the hidden scripture pavilion, and then rode the teleportation array and left without looking back. After Su Changge left, Zhang Zongbao on the 6th floor waited and waited, but never saw him come up. Little transparent, just your cultivation, you still want to go up to the 6th floor. Stop dreaming. After waiting for a while, the incense in front of him burned to the bottom, and the time was up. The cowhide blew through the sky. Zhang Zongbao laughed, his head stood tall, and he raised his eyebrows. Immediately, he walked downstairs. He turned every floor around, stunned that he didn't find Su Changge. This made his face look happy, and he laughed. Maybe he can't go up. He lost the gamble, and he was ashamed of himself and ran away. Zhang Zongbao's mood was not to mention how good, as if drinking a pulse. Next, he began to look for his own opportunity. The reason why he came here today was because he was cultivating in the square of Tiantai Peak just now, but at a certain moment, he suddenly felt that the hidden scripture pavilion had its own chance, so he came here. Time flies, and in the blink of an eye, there are several hours. Zhang Zongbao searched for a long time, but he couldn't find anything. This made him gradually irritable, and he always felt that the destined treasure seemed to pass by him, but he couldn't say for sure. It was very strange. In the end, he returned to Tiantai Peak sullenly and continued to cultivate. Chapter 057. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the other side, Su Changge quickly returned to Luofeng. The 1,000-year-old creation pill is enough for Zhang Zongbao to break through the elixir of the 5 realms, that can definitely be used as an opportunity for mercy. You must know that Zhang Zongbao has been in the sect for many years, and his cultivation is very high. Even he has broken through the 5 realms. Then Su Xianyue naturally does not need to say more. What's more, if such a terrifying treasure is given away, the treasure that the system subsidizes back must be even more terrifying. Soon, Su Changge returned to the house. At this time, Su Xianyue had already absorbed all 1,000 mid-grade spirit stones, but strangely, Xiao Wei had been stagnant in the heavenly realm. She didn't know why. Her little face was confused, and she had a question mark. Only Su Changge knew that this was because he had not yet been reborn. How powerful is the posture of a saint? How can 1,000 spirit stones activate her physique? Mercy, I just went out and found this pill for you. Take it and absorb it. Su Changge walked in front of her, first touched her little head, and then said affectionately, hearing that there was something to give herself. Su Xianyue's body trembled, flattered, and said, "This Gongzi, mercy can't be taken for nothing." They all said, "Don't be so restrained." Su Changge directly grabbed her hand and forcibly stuffed the Millennium Creation Pill into her hand. When he was done, he added, "Absorb it quickly, or I'll be angry." This, Su Xianyue's heart suddenly rose again with a deep emotion. Gongzi is so domineering. It turns out that domineering can also be so gentle. Immediately, she took the creation pill. At the entrance of the elixir, she felt a warm current enter her mouth, melt in the mouth, enter the body down her throat, and then spread to the 100 remains of her limbs. The power of the 1,000-year-old creation pill is very mild, and Su Xianyue only feels warm all over her body, as if she is sunbathing in the sun, and a stream of heat rises from the lower abdomen and travels among the meridians and blood vessels in the body. Boom! Suddenly, there was an explosion inside her, as if some shackles had been opened. For a moment she felt indescribably comfortable, and her breathing was several times smoother. Suddenly, a coercive pressure like a vast river of stars inadvertently revealed from her body, and the space appeared with a ripple, becoming like a horizontal plane, but soon disappeared. This is sage coercion. The aura of the holy realm in her body inadvertently flowed out, but it soon disappeared. Subsequently, her skin suddenly became as smooth and white as beautiful jade. Her thin figure suddenly transformed. Her back was like a keel propped up, her legs grew taller sharply, and the cups became larger, and the whole person seemed to have suddenly grown a lot, reborn, became fairy and fluttering. Her small face was as clear as the moon, and she looked like a fairy. Su Changge took a deep breath, did not take his eyes off for a moment, and looked at her like this, if what he expected was correct. At this moment, Su Xianyue should have transformed into an immortal, and her physique had transformed into a psychic jade body. Next moment. Boom. Breakthrough. The second heaven of the heavenly realm. The 5 heavens of the heavenly realm. The 7th heaven of the heavenly realm. 9 heavens of the heaven realm. Sea of gas. Metamorphosis. Golden body. Method. Move blood. The coercion on Su Lianyue's body became more and more powerful, and terrifying fluctuations swept away, instantly sweeping in all directions. The surge in cultivation was unexpected by Su Changge. He knew that the reincarnation of the saint was extremely terrifying, but he never expected that it was so terrifying. After the physique was activated, how many realms had she broken through? Read more novels for free on our website, tinyurl.com/2aa54z8b. That's 7 realms. It is worthy of being the reincarnation of a saint, this physique. It is really terrifying. And the next moment, Su Xianyue sniffed, and only felt that the air was extremely sweet, like manna. She subconsciously took a sip. Boom. Xiu Wei has broken through again. Move the blood realm to a heavy heaven. Move the blood realm triple heaven. Move the blood realm 5 heavens. Move the blood realm 9 heavens. Just taking a breath, her cultivation instantly came to the blood-moving 9 layer, and she was only 1 foot away from the next divine palace realm. Su Changge's great joy. The faster Lianer grows, the more she benefits. At this moment, he suddenly felt a flash of light in front of him, and a light curtain appeared in front of him. It turned out to be a system prompt entry. System prompt: Su Lianyue is breathing. Cultivation is +0.1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. Su Changge. Groove: is this the horror of the reincarnation of a saint? Awesome. It's awesome. At this time, Su Lianyue also sensed her own changes. Her pupils reflected a deep incredulity, and hurriedly turned her head to look at Su Changge, and said, "Gongzi, you are so good to Lianer. What kind of elixir is this?" "I took one. I actually got such a big transformation, and broke through so many realms." Lear actually attributed all this to her elixir. This wave of good feelings harvested, just beautiful. He smiled faintly and said, "Do you like it? I'll give it back to you later." Su Lianyue nodded and said softly, "Well, Lianer likes it." Su Changge took out another glass of water and handed it over. "Are you thirsty? Have a drink." Su Lianyue was moved in her heart, took the water cup and drank it. Suddenly, in front of Su Changge's eyes, the system prompt appeared again. Su Lianyue is drinking water, cultivating to +0.1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. Weji. What a terrifying qualification. He was shocked. "My mother, where to find such a good teammate? At this rate, on the day of the tournament, is it not the same as playing by sweeping the entire sect? It seems that the position of this holy son is within reach. Gongzi, why do I feel that my internal cultivation is strengthening little by little, as if it is strengthening all the time? Is this normal? Am I having some strange disease?" At this time, Su Xianyue raised her head and looked at him, her clear eyes revealing innocence. Su Changge touched her head and said, "Lianer, you don't have to worry. The pill just now broke the shackles in your body, made you reborn, and got a earth-shaking transformation. You only need to breathe and drink water step by step in the future to grow your cultivation." When the words fell, Su Lianyue understood. Her eyes lit up fiercely. She was extremely excited, and she grabbed Su Changge's arm and put it in her arms, and said, "Gongzi, thank you. If it weren't for you, Lianer would never have received such a big transformation. You are Lianer's benefactor. Lianer will never forget it for the rest of her life." Looking back on what happened during this time, she felt deeply incredible, and couldn't believe that she had transformed like this. It is clear that he was a slave 3 days ago and lived an inhuman life, but now, due to the appearance of Gongzi, he was reborn and reborn. He was like a light that illuminated his dark life. Su Changge waved his hand and smiled. "Well, mercy, you don't have to say the words of gratitude, just put them in your heart. I understand it."